Hi everybody, my name is Melody. I'm a student here at Chico State, and I'm super excited to be hanging out with the Executive Director of Athletics, Eric Coleman. So let's go meet him. So Eric, thank you for joining us today. And the first thing I have for you is, what made you decide to come to Chico State?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. So what made me decide Chico State? Well, I've been working in college athletics for nearly 20 years now. I was a former student athlete. I was a Division II athlete. The bulk of my career, I've worked in Division I. And there's been some major changes over the last few years that not quite align with who I am, both professionally and personally. And so I was starting looking at Division II opportunities, and even at some point was thinking about leaving college athletics. And a friend of mine literally texted me a link to Indeed, and I started looking into Chico, and I was down in UC San Diego and just started researching, looking at the success that Chico State has had throughout the years through all their sports. And then the community here was very in line with, I went to a small college in West Central Minnesota. I grew up in a small town just outside of Orlando, and it was just a perfect fit for what I was looking for. It was a school that you can tell that were committed to success in athletics and that they truly cared about their students.
Yeah, totally. So you mentioned Minnesota, so that's where you went to college?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your major there?
My major was, I got a liberal arts and human services with a minor in psychology. I was actually one class away from double majoring there.
Oh, wow.
And then I went over to Mankato State and did my master's in sports administration. And I actually started my doctorate, and I completed a year of that when I worked at Fresno State, but definitely want to finish my doctorate as well.
Oh, that's so cool. That's really cool. I did psychology too for a little bit, but then I changed my mind. So you did play college football, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there like a team that you would want to play for if you had gone like professional?
I grew up in Florida, like I said, so I was a big Tampa Bay Bucks fan growing up, and I actually went to the same high school with Warren Sapp, so I mean, he's a little older than me, but I went to the same high school, so there was a lot of comparisons to each other growing up. We were big guys who were very athletic. My I think senior year in high school was his first year with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and we actually even had the same number, so it was lots of comparisons there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So another question is, if you had like a walkout song, what would your walkout song be?
I'm a 90s kid, so I'm gonna go back to, I love East Coast. I know it was an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, but I was a big guy. My name is Eric, so Biggie was one of my favorite, and so I'll probably go with Biggie, One More Chance.
That's really cool. And then when it comes to like education, did you have a role model like who made you want to get into that aspect of things?
As far as education goes, I probably have to go with Fred Mims, and he was the Senior Associate Athletic Director at University of Iowa. He was one of the pioneers of academic advising and academic support in college athletics, and so I had the honor and privilege to work under him for a couple years at University of Iowa. Still a mentor to this day for me, and just his philosophy in putting students first and helping them become that holistic model to help them become well-rounded individuals, like that stuck with me, and that's definitely someone, his leadership is someone that I've modeled my leadership after.
Okay, so we heard about your educator role model, but what about your personal role model? Who would be that for you?
That's an easy one for me, and that would be my mother. She is absolutely was the most amazing person ever. She passed away in August of 21, and she was my best friend. She was everything, but she modeled to me what excellence was in everything she did. She came into this world and she fought for everything that she ever got and earned, and she had the best attitude about everything. And so we didn't have a lot of resources or wealth and things like that, but we had lots of love. And so she always would tell me and keep me humble, and she's like, there are people who are praying to have things that people are complaining about, and there's always someone who has the worst of you. And so she can take the worst situation in life and make something good out of it. And so she instilled that in me, and so I've modeled everything that I do to make her proud and to try to be an extension of her to the world.
Yeah, wow, that's a really great role model to have around. Not many people have that. So is there anything that you have, like any goals this year for the athletics program here at Chico State? Absolutely.
I think Chico is a giant. It's a sleeping giant, but I think a little bit of more resources here will go a long way. And so we don't have the greatest facilities, and we don't have the highest amount of scholarships, and we're still very competitive in the CCA as well as nationally. And so my hope is to be able to enhance both those areas here, and I see total domination in the CCA and then on the national level as well. But more importantly, dominant in the classroom, that we're producing, students who are going on to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers. And so those are things that, that's very important to me. And those scholarship dollars will help increase the student success and the student experience that we can provide for our student athletes.
So what makes you so passionate about college athletics?
Well, many reasons. So like I said, I was a former student athlete myself, and I was a pretty decent high school athlete, but I also had some years where I was a little bit of a knucklehead. And so college athletics and sports in general provided me some extra structure and stability, provided some great, role models around me that helped me develop me as a whole. And so you don't get that in other areas of life. I think college athletics unite communities and unite people like no one else and nothing else can. And so for me, like, that has been, to be able to work in a field that literally saved my life and provided me opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise, and be able to share that with other people and give other young people the opportunity to share in something that has had such a profound impact on my life. It makes it exciting to come to work every day.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. It's always nice having somebody that has such a passion for their profession, and you can definitely see that in the way that the person works. So with that, is there anything that you want to say to the Wildcat family?
I will. Wildcats, this is some great time to be a Wildcat, and we have some challenges ahead as a university and as a CSU system, and so we need you to show up, and we're going to have lots of donor engagement events, a lot of opportunities to connect with alumni, and I promise if you show up, we will show out in the field and in the classroom, so go Wildcats.